Hey, look, it's a sky. I'm in Spearfish, South Dakota. It's pretty good. And I was in the middle of videoing just a moment ago, and for whatever reason, Mr. Camera decided, I'm taking a break. And I took a break. So I don't know why. I'm guessing maybe I need to add some juice here to the mix. We'll just assume that's what the case is. And since I've already been recording for about 6 minutes, and I don't know how to edit, yeah, because Windows is a dick. I'm just gonna start from the beginning because I like to do that. Okay. Yeah. Okay, I'm a sci-fi mighty guy. I am, and I'm just kind of surprised I haven't done a sci-fi video yet, to be honest. Like, the thing is, I firmly believe that sci-fi authors, well, they're just the futurists and the visionaries that get us to where we're supposed to go. There's something coming tomorrow. It's going to be a better tomorrow. Everybody knows that. And every once in a while, somebody pulls a, what might be called a doozy or a whopper, depending on how you look at it. Like nuclear power. I mean, nobody's more scared of, battle axe war. Although you should be being cut in half by a battle axe. Oh man, that would suck. Where being at ground zero of a nuclear detonation, pretty fast. Just a thought. Anyway, but yeah, going about that thread, there's some amazing books out there, amazing stuff. H.G. Wells wrote one called The World Set Free, and he wrote it in like 1912. And it's about a more or less a process of nuclear energy becoming this staple standard that everybody has. And it seemed like such a great idea. The way he writes the story, it's just amazing. It's wonderful. Except here's how he says nuclear energy works. You take your yellow cake on your unrefined uranium, which he didn't know it was unrefined. It's like they thought that was it. And then you just mix it with, I'm trying to think what it was. Bismuth, I think is what he used in the book. And it works in an internal combustion engine, just the same as gasoline. And what it spits out the tail end is, instead of being this really nasty exhaust that smells funny, gold. Everybody's happy and everybody's rich. I'm like, okay, yeah, it's nice to have that sort of a folly. And I just happened to luck into being able to buy a 1912 encyclopedia set, which I couldn't wait. I cracked that sucker open to nuclear energy as quick as I could, and I ended up cracking some pages. But oh my gosh, it's comical what they thought about nuclear energy just 106 years ago. It's ridiculous. So what we know about energy today, this Dyson sphere type stuff of having basically a giant solar panel that exists just outside the orbit of the Earth, so that we can see the sun, and it's got these solar panels all around. You wouldn't be able to see the stars. That's the only sucky part about it. But it'd be really cool things. We'd have kind of forever energy. We don't know about that yet. We're not there yet. But there's this star, and again, I'm a sci-fi nerd guy. You got to kind of dip into this. I'm not a fucking expert. I don't even own a telescope, okay? I'm talking about what I know because I read, okay? And I read a lot of sci-fi, so I know some weird shit. Shut up. Anyway, this Tabby's star, it has a certain blink thing that it does that is well, let's just face it. It looks like something's blocking the sun, and it's not a huge planet, but there's something blocking the sun, and it's rhythmic, but it's not like a slow rhythm of it happens every 20 days or every 50 days. It happens like every 4 or 5 days, and then there's a long period, and then it happens again. There's a long period. Like there's something that is man-made, or not man-made, just we certainly haven't been a Tabby star, but something artificial. It's not, a planet wouldn't form like that. You wouldn't have a planet here and then a planet here that are both orbiting on the same plane. It just doesn't work that way. So this is something else. And what else? I prefer to think Dyson sphere, like in progress. Some people say it's a Dyson swarm that, they just did that, and that's going to be playing to make their energy forever. But let's think about that. Why wouldn't they go ahead and just do a Dyson sphere? Because once you're getting that much energy, it becomes that much easier to make the remainder of the sphere. I don't see why they wouldn't do that. So there's my judgment. But here's my thought on it. And you're going to think I'm crazy. What if they ran out of shit? You know, what if they ran out of stuff to build the thing out of? You know, I mean, a society that's high-minded enough to start building a Dyson sphere would probably be high-minded enough to go mine the asteroid field and mine, you know, maybe stuff that's in the gases of a gas giant like Jupiter. I can see that happening. But to build something that gargantuan, I mean, we're talking huge. I mean, it's huge. Think about that. Like it's amazingly huge. And I mean, just one copper wire to span the distance that the Earth orbits is unimaginable. I don't think there's that much copper on this whole planet. So how do they do it? You know, well, and again, sci-fi. Like, I don't know. I'm not telling you. I'll tell you about my UFO viewing thing I did. I was a little kid and I saw a UFO. I did. And no, don't be judging me, okay? I'll tell you about it later. Anyway, UFO just means unidentified flying object. I didn't know what the fuck it was, okay? Don't judge. So anyway, this society would probably be able to travel interstellar. Why not? And maybe take a caravan of mining whatever people, maybe robots. And AI could totally do that. AI would get bored and be like, well, we need to build a Dyson sphere because I want to build a whole bunch of babies and we need to power them. So it could happen that way. You never know. So these critters or AI, whatever, would need more stuff to finish their project. Well, where do they get the stuff? Neighboring solar systems. And we're not talking about something that's like, right over there. Even the space of, 1 light year would take, with our current technology, like 40 years at full burn with a rocket. It's going to take forever to get there. So, I mean, I'm not assuming that this is anything aside from sci-fi, fantasy, fiction. Okay, but like those things would be like looking for other bits of stuff, to finish their Dyson sphere. And what if they do that over an Alpha Centauri? It's like 4-point-something light years away from us. I'm not even sure if there's one closer to Alpha Centauri than us. I know that Alpha Centauri is the closest to us. So if we were looking for extra iron or whatever to finish a project like that, that's where we'd be knocking at. And what if that's an AI that doesn't give a flying rat's ass about a bunch of humans? There's your apocalypse. Yeah. And it's by alien creepy crawlies or whatever. What if it's like they're a bunch of midget supermodels? They're all like really hot, but they're like 3 foot tall. Just saying. Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. We'd still be dead, so whatever. You'd die and be like, I'm pretty. But yeah, that's my video for today. Yeah. Now I'm going to tell you about my UFO thing because people are going to be saying bad things about me. I did. I looked up this guy, and I remember at the time, because I mean seriously, at the time I just got away from Brahms and they had those waffle cones. Like everybody's got waffle cones now. But Brahms is an ice cream and dairy store in Oklahoma and Texas. It's a really good joint. If you've never been to a Brahms,